probably doing a few more winds on your tight. Now, I'm taking off the B string, which is the second highest string on the guitar. In the change between the E.
There's a reason why the most organized people never seem to take notes in meetings. We use Otter AI, the #1 AI note taker that captures every word automatically. Otter accurately summarizes meetings, generates detailed bullet point notes, assigns action items to each person, and it syncs to Salesforce, Notion, Slack, wherever you work.
And that level is all about mastering the change between the E and the A by keeping that first finger down and sliding over. The next chord we're going to learn is the D chord. So this chord again, we can keep our first finger exactly where it is at the same fret, but it would be great if we could move it this way just a little bit, because when we're at this side of the fret, everything rings out a little sweeter.
Hello guitar enthusiasts, Lauren Bateman here with a very important lesson video on the first 4 chords you should learn as a beginner. Now these are simplified chords that I teach my students to help us getting playing music as fast as possible. And you're going to find with just these 4 chords, you'll be able to play thousands of songs. Now this is an updated HD version of an older video of mine, but I'm going to make this even simpler for you. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to go over 4 simple chords that I teach my students and their first or second lesson as guitar students. And we use these 4 chords to play lots of songs such as Heart of Gold, think of Zombie by the Cranberries, Perfect by Ed Sheeran. I mean, there's lots and lots of songs, and you'll find a list of those on my website. I'll put a link below where you can go and find those songs. So the caveat to this is I'm going to show you 4 chords, and I'm going to make one of them even easier than my last video. And if you stay tuned through the end of this video, I'm going to show you how you can use a capo to actually access even more songs with just these 4 chords. So let's get into the actual chords. So the first chord we're going to learn is probably one of the easiest. It's an E minor chord. And we're going to build all of our chords off of this chord. So it's very important that we get familiar with this one. And
Captain
well.
Fluffy Butt.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we have 2 fingers. Right?
Hello.
Our first finger and
How's
our
it
second
going?
finger. And our first finger is going to go to the top string of the guitar.
Let's go.
Right on the second fret. So these blocks are called frets. So you're going to count up 1, 2 frets. Put your first finger on the top string and then lower it to the 5th string. And then what we're going to do with our second string is just put it
Play Wellerman. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Pretty good. I'm okay, thanks. I can play you a C chord, maybe. Did you take away your like, Jacob? Also, where were you guys a couple moments ago when I was at the park?
It's a sad chord, that's why it's minor. Alright? So let's try that again. So we're going to go to the 2nd fret. Alright? Get your first finger, move it down to the 5th string, 2nd fret, and then put your second finger right below it on the 2nd fret. That is E minor. Alright, I'm going to repeat that one more time. This is a beginner lesson video, so I'm going to teach this as if you were a student in my classroom. So we're going to repeat things a few times. So if you feel like
Last
you've
one's
gotten
kind of
enough
out of-
out of it, feel free to fast forward and go to the next section. But I'm going to repeat it a few more times.
Last
just so
string
that
is
you
kind
can
of
find
out.
it. First finger, alright, 5th string, count up to the 2nd fret, and put your second finger right below on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and begin to strum all the chords. This is your E minor chord, and is going to be the foundation for all the other chords that
Hello.
we're going to learn. So,
How's it going?
let's go learn our second chord. So the second chord I'm going to show you
C?
is a simplified C chord. It's only
I already
2
know C.
fingers.
Oh.
The normal C chord is usually 3 fingers, but the reason I teach this way is because for a lot of students, especially absolute beginners or older students, moving 3 fingers is very difficult. So we take this approach and most of my students find it much easier. So we're going to find that E minor chord again. So just one more time, first finger on the 5th fret. 5th string, go to the 2nd fret, put that 2nd finger on the 11th. Okay? And we'll do some closures after I show you this C chord. What we're going to do is put a pivot point here. Alright? So our 2nd finger is going to stay put. The only thing we're going to do is maybe slide it back a little in the fret. Okay? So we're going to lift up our finger and slide this finger back a little bit to give us space so we don't have to stretch so much. And this first finger is now going to come down.
Thank you for tapping the screen.
2nd string, 1st fret, okay? So this is our C chord. We're going to try as best as possible to just hit the bottom 4 strings. So now, to get back to E minor, we lift up the 1st finger, just slide the 2nd finger forward a little bit, put the 1st finger right back on top on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Okay, let's do that again. We're going to lift up our 1st finger, slide the 2nd finger back a little bit, 1st finger comes down, 2nd string, 1st fret. That's your C chord. One more time, okay? 1st finger up to the 5th string, 2nd fret. We have E minor. And then 1st finger back down to the 2nd string on the 1st fret. We have a C chord. Alright? So I'm going to go in for close up just so that you guys can see my fingers moving on this.
I feel like
If you
my
guys
fingers
have
are
liked
too
what I've
fat.
showed you so far, make sure to subscribe to my channel because I really specialize in lessons for beginners so that you can see when I release the content, songs, and tips. Let's get back into the lesson. Alright, here we have our close up. This is the guitar neck. This is the headstock of the guitar. We have frets 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to find that E minor first, 5th string, okay, 2nd fret, and then the 2nd finger is going to go right below on the 4th string, okay?
What?
If you play all 6 strings, that is an E minor chord. Now, to
We
get
just
to
did
that
that.
C chord, we're going to lift up the 1st finger. We're going to slide the 2nd finger towards the headstock a little bit. And the 1st finger is going to come down to the B string here, 2nd string at the 1st fret.
What?
So we have C. Now we're going to go back.
That was
E
very.
minor, we're going to just move that 1st finger back up to the 5th string. And then one more time, move the 1st finger to C. Let's just do it one more time for good measure here, okay? So E minor, 1st finger
I'm
comes
thinking
up
about how
to the 5th
difficult this
string.
is.
Just like that. Lift up the 1st finger, slide
How do
the
people
second
do
towards the
this?
headstock.
Does anybody here know how to play?
Comes down, right here, 2nd string, 1st fret. So we have C and E minor. C and E minor. Fun big note here, if you know that E minor and the C chords, you can now play a really cool song called Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles, which uses just the E minor and the C chords. I'll put a link in the description below so that you guys can go check that out. Now that you're familiar with the C and E minor chord, the next chord we're going to add into the mix is going to be our G chord. And you guessed it, we're going to be starting at the E minor chord again. So hopefully by now you know where that chord is, but just in case, one more time, we're going to take the 1st finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, 2nd finger right below. Now the G chord, we also have the pivot point on this chord, and again, G is usually a 3-fingered chord. These are simplified versions to help get your fingers started and build confidence that you can actually do this, okay? Because again, like I said, I've had lots of people do those 3-fingered guitar chords and give up in frustration because it was just too much for them at the stage they were at, alright? So what we're going to do, this 1st finger now becomes our pivot point, alright? And we're going to slide it forward, alright, towards the body of the guitar. And our 2nd finger is going to reach up to the top string, 3rd fret. And we're going to strum the whole thing. It's really what we call a G6 chord, but we're just going to call it a simple G chord to keep things simple. Alright, and we're going to strum all the strings. Now to get back to E minor, lift up the 2nd finger, slide the 1st finger back.
Learning guitar and art
We have G. To get back, we're going to slide the first finger. The second finger just comes right underneath. Okay, lift. Slide the first finger forward. Second finger comes down. One more time. Back to E minor. Slide the first finger back. Second finger down. Back to G. Lift up the second finger. Slide the first forward. Second finger on the third fret of the top string. We have G. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up because it helps people like you see my videos more often. Thanks so much. Let's keep going. So there you go. You have your first 3 chords, and usually at this stage, what I would do with my students is I would just have them practice going from a G chord to an E minor chord to a C chord back to E minor. So it'd be G, E minor, C, E minor, G, E minor, C, E minor, so forth and so on. But I told you to teach 4 chords in this lesson, so we have 1 more chord that we're going to learn, and this is the chord that I simplified even more from my last video, so that we now have a 2-fingered D chord. So a lot of students tend to have trouble playing a D chord. They'll play it, and it kind of sounds like that. So what we're going to do here is we're basically going to play like a D suspended chord, okay? It's a D sus4. And it's going to sound like this. It's a very open sounding chord. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a pivot point to get into this D chord. So what we're going to do is start still at E minor, because that's been our home base.
Okay. I'm gonna call it a quit. I'm saying I'm done. Welcome to this join in. Hello.